It was the Squire shop boat, right?
As Seafair enters the home stretch, a legendary hydroplane lost for decades is given new life.
You see them up close and personal.
The Blue Angels are back, and diehard fans insist this is the prime spot to see the Blues up close.
Drill team has been a major part of my life.
They march with purpose and precision, but see what they really value as members of this elite team. These stories and more next on CityStream. Hi, I'm Tatevik Aprikyan. Welcome to CityStream from Stan Sayres Memorial Park. The quiet will soon turn chaotic as this becomes ground zero for Seafair's signature event, the hydroplane races. The pandemic put Seattle's Summertime Festival on hold for 2 years, but Seafair is back. The Torchlight Parade, the Pirates, the Blue Angels, and the Thunderboats all return. And this year, one legendary hydro was out on Lake Washington for the first time in 40 years. In 1981, the Squire shop flipped during a test run on this lake. It broke in half, nearly killing driver Chip Hanauer. Fast forward several decades, the boat showed up on Craigslist, and one man made it his mission to bring it back. Producer Randy Yang has the story.
No one ever sets out to build a losing boat. It's always a winning boat, and as it's being built, we're going to win races. And then it becomes a real boat, and it runs, and sometimes it's successful, sometimes it's not. That's this boat. But it did something that was really important.
I had my friend Brad Haskin. He calls me up on the phone one day and says, "Hey, I got this crazy idea. If I can get a couple of us friends together, we can go buy an old vintage hydroplane. It's sitting on like Craigslist. It hasn't raced in years, and the guy just wants to sell it, and we could buy it and we could donate it, and then we could have a little bit of fun along the way, you know?" I said, "I think you're a little crazy, Brad, but let me think about it."
And there's a Squire shop going into the north turn.
And I found out it was one of the Norberg boats.
This was Chip Hanauer's big break. He's our big star of the sport. He's the guy who's won 11 Gold Cups. And this was the first boat that he drove to win a race.
Here comes the Squire.
If you were here back in the 70s and the 80s, that Squire shop, that's where you went to get your prom clothes. That's where you went to get your cool bell bottoms. That connected the sport to the people.
Squire shop, Chip Hanauer holding on to the lead as they go up into the air.
I remember when I was a young kid, we used to go to the Squire shop and buy clothes. We used to wear the stonewashed jeans back in the day. Squire shop, that's the boat to bring back. But it never could catch my Atlas van lines. But it went hard though.
Run number 2. In a race when you're running around a track, if you're there and you come up the winning line, if you can throttle hard, that guy in front of you doesn't know if you got it to beat him, and that's the way we used to win races.
Chip Hanauer picking him up, laying him down, rocking and rolling, doing a pretty good job right now.
The underdog can still win.
Good ride for Chip Hanauer.
I thought about it, and it sounded even more crazier. But over time, it was like, you know, it wouldn't be such a bad deal.
You know, I was like, why? And he explained to me which one it was, and I was like, you know, honey, we have history with this boat. I was offered the ride in it. And I was so shy, and I was so nervous, and I just says, no, I can't do it. And he says, are you sure? And I'm like, I'm sure. And I think I kind of went and hid behind Mom.
Oh, she goes, I got pictures of it. Really?
I remember having braids in my hair. And that's all I really remember about it.
And there it is. Her standing there on the dock, and I said, I know exactly what hole it is. That's this boat. You know, I said, we gotta get it now. And I called the guy up, and he goes, oh, I just sold the boat yesterday. I'm like, you're kidding me, right? He goes, no, I really did. I said, really? Oh man, we missed our chance. Kind of knew who had bought in the boat, and after about a year of asking, he finally broke down and said, yeah, I'll make you a trade. I want another hydroplane. I'm like, I don't have another hydroplane. Well, that's the deal. So I immediately called the museum and I said, is there any boats out there at all that meet this criteria? He goes, I know of only one. It's been on the market a very long time. It had this tarp just flapping in the wind, strings hanging off it, wood literally crumbling in the ground. It was horrible. But he kept seeing the potential in it. We set up a meeting, wrote the paperwork, and we finally got the boat. To me, it was a Chip Hanauer boat. It's a Squire shop, man. It had a deck on it, and I didn't really care. Get it down here, day one. Okay, let's remove the deck. I remember holding up the first sheet, and I hold up the fiberglass deck, and I'm looking at it, and the wood backing had crumbled into the boat. And I'm like, where's the deck? It's in pieces laying inside. And I'm like, wow, this is really rough.
The very first thing I did in restoring this boat was pick the mushrooms off the bottom of the boat.
It was so saturated with, rain, oil from the years of racing, and then the damage was done. I was still hopeful because as long as I kept a screw, it was the Squire shop boat, right? It's a ton easier. It's not old, grimy, unrecognizable stuff. It's all fresh cut, brand new. Not a screw put in the wood, it's completely fresh.
We're trying to preserve, not just create new. And so it was important to stay true to the original design.
There's a legacy that we get to leave behind. It's something that not only our families enjoy and been a part of, but other people get to enjoy.
The parts, well, it's kind of a long trail. It spans almost the entire country. Some of them literally about a block from my house, which was the cowling in the lake. Once I heard that story, you wouldn't believe how many times I drive by and God, it's out there somewhere. It was a long time to just find out where it was, and then to get the amazing amount of volunteers I had to help me get it. 30 some odd years at the bottom of Lake Washington. Perfect condition. Exciting. Great job, guys. You guys see we're working on the project, go, hey, we got these parts hanging up on the wall in our garage. Where'd you get those? Oh, the boat caught on fire, or something exploded, engine failure, whatever. The guys were just saying, here, take it home souvenir. Been on the guy's wall since the day it happened. He goes, you might want to use these. Absolutely.
The boats now are all plastic, they're all composite boats, but the old method of building them out of wood is getting lost. So it's kind of cool to help show these guys and teach them how we did it.
We're building boats, and we're teaching people how to build boats. So we're preserving more than the history, we're preserving the knowledge.
It was just going to have been a museum piece, and I probably wouldn't have gotten involved, but to see it run again, that's the really cool part about it.
I feel good and nervous at the same time. First time for a boat going out is always, you never know. You always double check, triple check, but there's always that little heebie-jeebies, Remember popping those decks and ooh.
It was a much larger project. You start by peeling off all the bad stuff, and there really was pretty much all bad stuff. So that was a huge job. And then getting hit with COVID right in the middle of it. This one took a lot longer than it should have, but we're really, really happy to have it on the water finally.
Come on, Dave.
There we go.
It's been a 9-year journey for myself since the day of the idea. It's one of those pinch me moments. I can't believe we pulled it off. Did it, baby.
See that? That's a happy sound.
I haven't decided if I'm going out for a ride yet. Maybe. Anything's possible.
I have no desire to ride in the boat. I am still just a fan, and that's all I'll ever be. Oh, Bob, we did it, man.
Yep. Every boat has sort of a spiritual guide, if you will. And that's Gary for this project. He is certainly the spiritual guide to this boat. He raised money, then he bought the boat, and then he donated the boat. Our guy for the Squire shop is Gary Laws.
I mean, it's probably built better now than it ever was brand new. It's a piece of art that actually runs now. Would I do it again? Well, I'd probably do it a little differently. But, it was totally worth it.
It's not just about the boat, and it's not just about, getting it back out on the water. It's about the journey with my family. Seeing my dad and seeing Gary smile and seeing Mom smile, that's the important part to me.
The Squire shop will always have a special connection to Seafair. Back in the 80s, before the event had corporate sponsors, it ran into financial trouble. Squire shop owner Bob Stiles stepped up and provided the funds to keep Seafair afloat. Restoration of the boat has become a show of gratitude for keeping Seafair alive. As for the boat itself, the restoration was done at the Hydroplane Race Boat Museum in Kent. 15 dedicated museum volunteers worked countless hours to give the Squire shop new life. If you'd like to visit the museum or learn more about it, check out their website, thunderboats.ning.com. Next, the Blue Angels return to Seafair, and one group says its viewing location cannot be beat. We'll show you as CityStream continues. This remains one of Seafair's most popular attractions. The stunning air show performed by the Navy's Blue Angels has been a Seafair tradition since 1972. COVID grounded the Blues for 2 years, but the team is back and will show off its new, larger and louder FA-18 Super Hornet jets. Also next year, the Blue Angels will welcome their first ever female pilot. Lieutenant Amanda Lee has been selected to fly with the famed squadron. Of course, longtime Blue Angels fans have a favorite viewing location or two, but one group insists there's only one place to watch. Each year, they flock to Ruby Chow Park at the north end of Boeing Field to experience thunderous takeoffs and landings. Producer Randy Yang takes a look.
This spot is, to me, the best spot. You know, you see them up close and personal.
This is the best place to watch the Blue Angels ever. Hands down, everything. Right here.
I think that us Seattle natives that sit here at the end of the runway understand. You know, where they're taking off and they're landing. You know, that's the best.
Seattle's shortest air show sitting down here. Technically there. Boom! Good, because you can't hear them coming. You can hear them leaving.
Come on with it. I'm ready. I told you, I told you.
This is where it starts. They take off, they're down low, it's loud. Why the ladder? So I can get up above the busy fence.
It's a Seattle thing.
You can't get it, Lake Washington. Yeah, they have the hydros.
We've seen the big flying shows and stuff like that.
I didn't see it.
But to feel the Blues right over your head, that's the best, that's the best. But then the waiting, though, get ready.
Yeah.
No, really, I'm serious. The wait for them to all come back in formation is the best. It's that salute at the end, right here at the end of the runway. They just being slow about it. This is the best part. Woo! All right, even though we was getting ready for 20 minutes. No.
All right. Ingrid, look, over there.
Get ready. You know, it's that Seattle soul. Blue Angels are the Seattle soul in the summertime.
It's part of Seattle history. It's what Seafair is about.
Yeah! Can't nothing get better than that. That was the longest, shortest show ever. The best!
If you'd like more information on the Blue Angels performance schedule, go to seafair.org and click on the Events tab, then scroll down to the Boeing Seafair Air Show. From precision pilots to fancy dancers, summer is the time to move and groove to Latin music. Since 2009, Belltown dance studio Salsa and Bachata on Alki has drawn hundreds of people who love to dance to the water's edge.
tenerte muy cerca. Todo mi cuerpo se está abrigando con tu calor y bailemos juntitos bajo el cielo y las estrellas. Me descontrolas, me enloqueces, me matas con tus palabras y tu mirada. ¡Qué obsesión! Yo soy la dueña de tu alma y de tu cuerpo. No aguanto este deseo, acércate a mí. Yo soy la dueña de tu alma y de tu cuerpo. No aguanto este deseo, acércate a mí.
From salsa to a Seattle drill team that marches with precision and purpose. That's ahead as CityStream continues. The Seattle Chinese Community Girls Drill Team is celebrating its 70th anniversary. The group has gotten international acclaim for its distinctive style and precision. But more importantly, the drill team has given generations of young women an identity, a support system, and an appreciation of their culture. The organization is the subject of a new documentary. Here's a work sample from Della Chen's production.
When the parade comes and you see the girls, you can hear them from afar, and already your heart is like pounding because you're so happy that we're part of it.
Well, Auntie Ruby was a role model because she was a Chinese woman. She started this whole thing.
Coming up is the Chinese Community Girls Drill Team. They have been around since 1952, and they've performed all over the world, including San Francisco, Portland, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Taiwan, and the Republic of China.
Because we're a precision military drill team. We were trained by Ted Urbeck, so we had to be precise.
We learn about our community, we learn about respect, and about traditions, and about all the hardships of those who came before us. Bowing to visitors who come into our community for the Chinatown Parade, sign of respect, of welcoming, of kinship.
Organizations like the drill team and other community organizations are really important to help kids realize that they have value in their culture, and just having an identity with others of the same culture was really important.
Oh, drill team's done so much for me because it was basically most of my formative years, this friendship and this sisterhood that's carried on for all these years. And so, drill team has been a major part of my life.
Performing gave us the ability to come together like on a weekly basis and see each other frequently, and then form the connections that make us community and friends and family.
I had the opportunity and the gift to have made lifelong friends. that I really care about.
The drill team that the public sees doesn't begin to scratch the surface of what it means to us as the drill team members. To call drill team a performance team is a huge understatement because it is merely like the platform upon which we build all of our other relationships that I would say are much more important or have been a lot more critical for me in forming identity and becoming an adult.
That confidence to be a leader, to speak, and to empower girls and share really stem from being on the team. It's just a strong impact. And a lot of times you go out into the world and you don't have that group who identifies you on the inside and outside.
Everyone who came before us has paved the way for when we marched.
I don't think there's been given enough attention to how special it is and how unique it is, but it means so much to us, and the majority of people don't know what it is. That's why sometimes we have peaks and valleys in enrollment. How do we continue to show our extended girl families and cousins and aunties and uncles that there's something still here? And I think it's just a great time to showcase them and let all these people in Seattle and Washington know that we're here and we're still strong and we want to build it and keep it going.
Documentary producer Della Chen hopes to premiere the film in early 2023. She'd also like to make it available to public schools as part of Washington State history curriculum. We'll be right back. That wraps up this week's episode of CityStream from Stan Sayres Memorial Park. If you'd like more information on Seafair and all of their events, just go to their website, seafair.org. I'm Tatevik Aprikyan. Thanks for watching.